The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster sampler that includes all the meat in 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
You've been deceived by an agent of Satan himself. He's evil.
Sitting right here. Come on.
No, he's not evil. He's just a bit rude.
Good morning, everybody. Hello there. Welcome to Tuesday. It's 5:45. My name is John Holmberg. There is Brady Bogan, Brett Vesley, Big Dick Toledo. This is the Morning Sickness and off and running on another glorious day as the Olympics continue to tread on. Spoiler alert, Simone Biles. I was up for whatever reason last night at 1:30 in the morning watching Olympics because I just kind of popped up in the middle of the night. And there she was. And I'm like, all right, I'll sit and watch this for a little bit. And it was fun to watch, and it was fun to hear all the people talking. I didn't realize how divided people were about the Simone Biles thing in like an angry way. I have a friend of mine who he and his wife are in like a real
battle,
like sleep in another room's battle over this. Like they've been in a full-out fight for a week because they have a kid who's got some mental health stuff, like real stuff, not the twisties, real stuff. And his argument is pretty valid because he's basically so. Because they keep saying that, like the twisties are a very common problem and you don't want to hurt yourself. It's very common, and I hadn't thought of it the way he did, but he's like, look, if the twisties are a common problem in gymnastics and sports where you twist like that, then how come we've never heard of them before? And evidently, if they're that common, all the other gymnasts have found a way to combat them.
Battled their way out of it.
Right.
Yep.
How come her twisties are all of a sudden a certifiable medical illness?
It's a 4-day process.
And she's basically doing the thing, sports is too important. And she's on a phone in the background we were talking about. Is he talking to another friend about what an asshole I am? And I'm like, oh, you're in a real one.
Oh, man.
He goes, oh, we're in a real one, all right. And he said, yeah. So she's basically saying sports is too important. You should walk away from it. If you don't feel like playing, there should be no pressure. And he goes, that's not what the Olympics are about. The Olympics aren't about that. It's not about walking away. It's not Little League.
No, but I mean... Look, I understand where that's coming from. If someone doesn't have anything to do with sports, all of a sudden their tolerance is
zero. Yeah.
It's a game.
It's a game. Yeah, people say that, but it's a $5.7 billion game for NBC and the IOC and everything else. Not much of a game to them. It's every bit.
Have you seen the ratings so far?
No, they're not. They're probably horrible.
They're down 58% from the London Olympics 2012, 48% for the Brazil games.
From Rio.
Well, part of it's trying to find any of the games, too.
That's
it's
what
on
everybody says.
20 different platforms.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay yesterday up there at Tactical Black. He's like, is it me? Am I an idiot?
No.
Or can I not find anything worth watching? It's like there's the highlight show on NBC, basically, where it's a bunch of stuff I'm not, like rowing. I go, I'm not going to watch that. And he said, but they say this is on and this is on. I got to find Peacock. I got to go figure this out. I got to pay for that. I got to Fire Stick this. I said, it's a pain in the... They're making you jump a little too much. Yeah. Just put it on TV. And then say, if you want to watch basketball, here's our basketball channel. If you want to watch this stuff, here's our this stuff channel. But yeah, it was weird. But the Biles thing, and I had another buddy emailing me yesterday who's just flat furious. Guys who played sports, I don't know that people who didn't understand the you don't quit no matter what mentality. There's just a sports thing in your brain. You're taught that as a kid, no matter what. And I know that sounds crazy to somebody who doesn't do it. Like, what do you mean no matter what? And it literally is no matter what. I was talking to a friend yesterday, Terrell Davis and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, guys I rooted against, Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Lakers, both suffered from migraines so badly they'd go blind. And in the Super Bowl,
Kareem?
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
Davis was in the Super Bowl and went to his coach and said, I'm blind. I am literally blind right now. The migraine has got me. And he knew he had it before. And what did the dude do? He just iced up until his vision started to blur back, and he's like, I'm back in. You could not keep him out of that thing. He never once said, I'm out. I'm done. He just was blind, literally blinded. That's what it took for him to leave the field, is the loss of his vision completely. Otherwise, he was going to fight through so long as he had colors and shapes. And Kareem did it in the late 80s when he was with the Lakers. He'd have blinding migraines and go out and play anyway.
And there, towards the tail end, there'd be a quarter or a half that he would sit out.
He couldn't see. But he would sit in that uniform like, I'm going to play until I can't see. That's the only thing going blind is definitely like having a broken bone. You're not going to go on much longer. Sometimes guys, Emmitt Smith broke his entire shoulder and went out and had one of the greatest NFC championship games. So it is kind of crazy, but dudes have that mentality of you just don't quit. You go out and crap the bed. You'd rather go out and crap the bed trying than you would saying I quit. But, I got a few. And then don't even get, the 3 or 4 friends I had yesterday that went off. And one of them I want to name by name because his is the best, but he's got a prominent business in this city, and I don't really want to throw him under the bus on that. But, was he grouchy about the soccer, the ladies' soccer? Woo! He goes, did you see those entitled bitches on their knee wearing USA flags on their shirts during the anthem, and then they went out and had the nerve to get their asses kicked by Canada? I'm like, that is true. If you're going to kneel, you better go out there and kick ass. If you're going to kneel and take a stand saying we're the most important thing you got going right now and we're going to take a stand, you better go out and perform. Otherwise, you just look like you're there for the wrong reasons. They got whipped yesterday.
It's like a year late. That year delay that they were planning on kneeling probably.
I can't imagine everybody on that girls' soccer team is in on the whole let's kneel during the anthem.
And if you didn't want to?
Oh, you're feeling the pressure. There's
Absolutely.
no way Megan Rapinoe isn't looking at you going, really? You want to be on this team or not? Because she's kind of the LeBron James of that team. For whatever reason, they look to her as the leader of USA soccer rather than the coaches or the people in charge. And I guarantee you, one of those young girls, it's like, I kind of the United States in a whole bunch of different ways, and the reason that we're here is to represent the best of it. Now, there's problems, but we're here to represent the best of it, maybe not the best time to hit a knee as a group and protest. I mean, we'd be the laughing stock of the world. And I guarantee you, Rapinoe is like, nope, you don't kneel, you don't go out there.
I don't remember ever seeing this much, I don't know if I'd say hatred, but distaste for an American team in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody's going against the U.S. Girls soccer team.
Yeah, well, not everybody.
Well,
there's some people you don't talk to.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The majority, you've never seen it this many times.
The people you want to deal with are not. Yeah, but it's true. Boy, I was the same. And the people are like, I was rooting for Canada in the Olympics. It's never happened before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. But, man, people.
She's unlikable, though.
She's not. She's just not endearing and ingratiating. It's the same way, like, I kind of agreed with Colin Kaepernick, but he pulled so many stupid things. You're like, dude, you can't win this fight this way. The Kunta Kinte thing, when they gave him a chance to come back and say, we want to give you an opportunity. And I understand he's mad. And the pig socks, that was terrible when he wore the socks with the pig cups on it. I'm like, you have a fight on your hands, and you've actually got the right approach. You did everything right up until you didn't. And once you didn't, you gave your enemies all the power. You gave the people against you all the power. To at least have an argument to water down what you were trying to do.
Canada had a tough day in diving. The female diver got a 0.
There's been a couple zeros. That was 2 days ago. There was a guy that got a 0 yesterday. Yesterday. She just floated into the pool, like feet first.
A very difficult dive, the most difficult dive, and bailed on it.
I didn't know that there was a thing called balking in diving, where you go and you don't like the way you bounce and you stop. It's a 0, and you get off the board.
Unfortunate for that round, that basically knocked her out.
Yeah. You want to talk about some pressure? False starting in a track and field event, you're done.
Only one time, right?
That's it.
Yep.
You unless you feel like it was something wrong with their end. Because there was a girl who did it yesterday.
They'd reset. Yeah.
But there was a girl yesterday who did it from Great Britain, and it was raining, and I couldn't hear. I didn't know when the thing went off. And they're like, all right, we'll give you another shot. But it's up to them. But for the most part, you false start, you're out, especially if it's over like a tenth of a second. And then there's the other element that I started laughing at last night when my phone blew up, as the people that know I'm watching these Olympic Games, and that white guy from Norway beat Rai Benjamin in the 400-meter hurdles, which was one of the best foot races you'll ever watch in your life. They broke the world record that stood for 28 years. This Karsten Wald something, I don't know his name. Anyway, he's the Norwegian runner. He broke the record. He's white as he's Conan O'Brien. He looks like Conan O'Brien with blondish hair. And all my phone blew up and said, I never thought I'd see the day. Like all these people, like this white guy just won like he outran the black guy at the end in a track meet. I'm like, this is the fastest guy going. But it is kind of a race thing because when you see Conan O'Brien beating Rai Benjamin and all the other black guys on this 400-meter hurdle and breaking the world record that he set a month ago, that was a 28-year-old record in the first place. Everybody got all white-black on this thing. I was dying laughing. I'm like, I was rooting for Rai Benjamin. He's the USA guy. Go, man.
Yeah.
But I will have to say, it was interesting to see because it's very rare. Like when the Chinese kid qualified for the 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
And he won the heat. And I'm like, wait a second. That's never been. Like, I've made a point in this show to say I've never seen one up against Usain Bolt, not one Chinese runner. And this guy did. He was the one. They must have heard me and trained one real fast because he went out there and blazed.
I forget about the story I read, but it was the women's 400-meter, and one of our favorites from USA wins, basically has to finish, she finished second in the heat.
Yeah.
But she kind of she slowed it down before.
Right.
1/1000th of a second, did not qualify for the final.
because the time drops out. Yeah, you got to push through that heat. But it was weird because I got a lot of texts from people saying, oh, my God, the white guy won. And they were very excited because – and then it makes you think, you know what, should we have white pride when the white guy wins that? Or is that – we're going against – I mean, it was a Norwegian guy, so it's going against the United States. That's just flat racism, isn't it?
He can have second, but not against USA.
That's what I said. I was like, what are you guys cheering for? You're cheering against the United States. You can't be on this. You can't be on the don't kneel U.S. soccer team and then root for Norway because he's white. That's why they're kneeling.
The guy's technique must have been
He was unreal. It's an the race is, they're saying it's the best Olympic race of all time, and I'm pretty close. I was on the edge of your seat type stuff. These guys ran the 100-meter in a little bit slower time, or not the 400.
400, yeah.
They in a little bit slower
Which
time.
I can't
They
imagine.
run it without hurdles. The time wasn't that different as fast as these guys were going.
Wow.
They were blazing, and it was amazing to watch. I mean, the way they busted away from the field. But, yeah, rooting for Norway over the United States because it's white, that's just flat racism.
And it's not really a country that pisses you off so much.
Okay,
so
but
maybe,
that's a white thing.
It is.
It's that I was like, I texted a friend of mine, like, you're being racist. Like, you're a complete racist. Conan? Yeah, that's Conan. And Conan is fast, and Conan was the favorite. Everybody's like, I never thought I'd see the day. He was supposed to win. He was the one that was the fastest. There's Conan.
Wow.
He must have tore his
he
shirt
ripped
after,
it open at the end, yeah.
Like
he
Superman.
did a terrible job of trying to tear his shirt open.
Wasn't the Hulk Hogan type
No, it
move
was
or
nowhere
nothing
near
like
the
that.
Hogan. It was not Norway Mania. But, yeah, he was the favorite. He's the fastest guy in that event. And then the Americans have Benjamin, and he's, like, super. And I was rooting for Rai the entire time. And Warholm is the Norwegian guy. He was incredibly classy at the end, but I started thinking, I don't think my friends are classy at all. They were rooting for the white guy just because he's white against the black guy who's an American. That's racism.
Yeah, take a knee for Christ's sake.
I took a knee right there, Benjamin. I'm like, look, Megan's right. Rapinoe's right. There's too many problems. That right Benjamin was crying his eyes out at the end, too. And that was the best so far when they go back to the families on the Zoom meetings that they've been having. That was the best one because they're like, we love you. And he started sobbing and apologizing like he's a Chinese athlete. The race was unreal. And this Norwegian
off
dude
to that start that we expected,
so
but Rai
fast.
Benjamin not letting him get too far ahead. If you look at who's getting over the hurdles first, it's still
fast.
Karsten Warholm.
So Rai Benjamin has all the flat
Wait till
speed,
they hit the corner here is when it all evens up. They go around this turn, and then you find out who's actually winning. Look how far back he is, and then watch these two pump it. And they're blowing everybody away.
That was a great turn from the American. It's Rai Benjamin.
Oh, it's such a great race.
Oh, that's a battle.
It's such a great race.
The American is reeling him in. The world record holder is trying to hold him
Look
up,
at him, just
and he
pulls
will.
away at the end.
It's going to be gold for Norway.
He's amazing.
45.94
Man. And then a bunch of racists text me right after that. But he's bad at ripping his shirt open. He could not get it open.
There's some safety pins.
Basically did a nipple thing. It was awesome. It was a great race. My phone just bing, 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 bing. Dude, a white guy's the fastest guy in the 400-meter hurdles.
Man, 45 seconds.
45, yeah, they busted 46 seconds, which is unreal. It's never been done.
That's unbelievable.
The record was like 46.8 up until 2 months ago, and he busted that, and then they broke it under.
46.7 was the previous.
Well, that was that he just did, and prior to that, it was a full second more. Like, he's busted a second off of the entire world record in a month and a half. It's crazy. Yeah, it was awesome.
Check the blood.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
Juice.
So there's what I was thinking.
You're dropping 2 seconds. And
There's my racism versus my own people. There's no way that guy's faster than Rai Benjamin without any help. He's got something going in the system. The Norwegians are athletic, but all right, calm down a little bit. They're not going to blow by a dude named Rai Benjamin.
They got some good labs over there. They can
doctor some things. Sure, they're very bright people, in the region of the Nobel Prize. It's right next door. So they've been into the science world. Their neighbors are science people. Like, how about a little something to make Whitey faster? And they did it, but he was blazing quick.
In 8 years, we can get it below 40, the final time.
If that could happen, I'm all for it. Get those steroid Olympics going.
Barely do that in a car, let alone on feet. Are you kidding me?
Right. The jumping part, it's amazing. See, track and field starts getting me excited because it's fun. But you got to root for the USA unless it's that girls' soccer team.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because they're not rooting for the USA.
No, that's true.
The whole purpose of them being able to kneel and say what they want to say and do what they want to do during the anthem is because they live here. Their freedom to be outspoken is because of this, because of that. So when you represent it, it's different here. If you're playing the LA Galaxy versus the Portland Timber nonsense MLS who cares games because the girls don't have a league, no one goes to it. And you kneel before that, that's fine. In-house, have all the protesting you want. You get outside the borders, you represent.
Why don't they put the lady soccer team as a USOC, United States Olympic Committee?
Oh, there you
go. No anthem, no flag.
And people will disagree with it, but I think there's a certain point where you represent outside of the boundaries. You bring the best of what we are. You don't drag our problems out. You don't take our problems outside of the nation, and you can have your piece, but you represent that thing in and amongst all the others representing theirs. You come home, mouth off all you want, kneel all you want. I got no issue with that. I think a lot of the times you got a good point, but not there.
Major investigation going on in the Olympic Village.
Oh,
there's a group of athletes drinking, which is illegal. This is the big story. They're investigating to try to figure out who was
Japan?
drinking.
It's illegal in Japan to drink?
In the Olympic Village.
Oh, it is?
I guess so. Because they don't want people out.
Oh, because of the COVIDs.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, not gonna do it. They're 23-year-old super. They're so much sex and drinking. Okay,
we gotta go.
You got it.
I think you might have mentioned yesterday, but Caleb Dressel,
the swimmer.
Yeah, he gets back. He's like, I got 5 golds, but it was not fun over there.
No, everybody's saying it's super stressful and nothing about it's been great.
But he goes, that's you train for that to compete.
Yeah,
and you got to put up with it.
Yeah. Or you just get the twisties and you quit and you pick and choose when you want to play.
There was a former wrestler in the last games, 2016. He got gold, and he, in his interview, said, "This is, in my opinion, as athletes, sometimes you just need someone to kick you in the ass, and this is what
Absolutely.
I think
needed
to happen."
You have sports psychologists and all sorts of. I have noticed though that every gymnast after has had an interview that has said, "I've wanted to quit so many times, but I didn't." And my coach wouldn't let me, and all that. And it's like, I think those are veiled shots. I think there's some bitterness to the whole Simone thing.
I mean, you go through that when you're being pushed to go to the next level. I mean, it's almost like the coaches. You think the coach is trying to break you down or try to get you to quit? That's not it. They're trying to make you better.
They're trying to.
Sometimes they know the only way to get better is pushing yourself.
Fight through adversity.
Yep.
That's the whole point of being a superior athlete.
Now there's some better techniques being used. There's been
the smacking him in the face and stuff sometimes still works. But the difference between Slappy Brady and Slappy John playing a sport and some elite athlete is that if we start having a bad day, we're just like, I'm just going to get a beer. This is ridiculous. But even still, I wouldn't do that. If I agreed to play basketball at LA Fitness, I'm going to go till it's 11 points until the end of the game, and I'm like, I was 0 for like 20, guys. I blew the whole game for you. I shouldn't have been here today. Sorry. Yesterday at Tactical Black, I thought I slipped my back. I thought the whole hip and back. I'm like, I think I just, but I finished because I showed up and I'm not wasting their time. So people took time out of their day to help me out. And I'm like, I'm not so bad I can't go. We slowed down a little bit. We did some different stuff, but it's ridiculous. I got to get a little twinge going here. We got to be careful. Oh. That was it. I'm fine.
And it's not,
Twisties. You got the twisties. You just had a rough couple days, that's all.
Well, the only way to get out of it is by confronting it.
Right.
And so you get back on the horse.
I've been to a lot of hockey games and at the intermission. Part of the fun of it is a game where you actually are given the twisties, and then you got to run down the ice and try to score a goal. And a very dangerous situation of people aren't. I've never seen anybody just quit that. They're like, oh, you spun me around that bat like 100 times, and then I got the twisties, so I can't compete in this game. It's too hard. Well, that's the whole point. You're in a twisties game. But that's the thing that my friend's argument, I think I'm with him. If I have to choose through the divorce on the Olympics, I'm going to pick him because then I get to dismiss her and all her friends. Because
that's not
he's
a bad
right.
idea.
He's 100% right. You picked a sport where you say twisties are common, so then when you get them, figure it out. You can't say that they're your reason you can't play anymore.
Would you have accepted, or do you think people in general would have accepted more if she just said, you know what, I got here, I'm just burnt.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I had a mental breakdown last night. I would totally accept that.
Yeah.
If she flat out said, I had a full-on meltdown. I had a nervous breakdown last night, and I apologize to everybody. I can't go on. But to sit back and go, well, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. That's not a mental health issue. That's a day-to-day, let's see what I'm feeling. That's not that. It makes people with real mental health issues, it diminishes their problems. It's awful.
I wasn't even saying a full mental breakdown. She's just like getting ready to compete, and she just realizes, man, I'm fried. Yeah. I just don't want to do it.
But lie to me. Don't go out there and say I quit, because that's the same thing. Go out and say I'm fried. I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown. And I can't do this.
That's the only way people would be able to accept it.
The fact that she decided to just pick and choose is not a mental health issue, and nobody wants to have that real talk, but it's crazy.
And then to bring in the around the corner stuff, battling, like the Nasser factor or something like that.
Sure.
That's kind of gone away, but that it's not gone away necessarily with her because she could have been involved with that.
Oh, it's definitely but it's all known stuff.
Yeah,
she knew that going in, and I agree. If she had a mental issue going in, and like I can't do this, I'm falling apart.
Has anything come back around about the whole Ritalin possibility and all that kind of stuff? That just kind of just disappeared.
And that to me was the one that we were grasping to save her image.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like anything for a little, like the twisties thing seems like a grasp to save image because they're like, oh, it's so common for gymnasts. All right, well then get through it. Because what you just said was this happens to all of them.
So you're not the only one.
Why'd she quit?
You're not special.
You're nothing about you special. This isn't an issue of health. Yeah. This is you got trapped by your sports trap.
I think it was the first day in competition that she ever had that was a bad day.
I think so too. Well, I always go back to Chuck Knobloch, Steve Sachs, John Lester, guys who have mental disorders in sports, and they're just told get over it. You want to play the game. You want to be out here getting paid to do this. You want to be the focus of this. You got to get over your thing. Knobloch just completely lost the ability to throw a ball to first base from second base.
Yeah,
for about 8 months. It was like a whole season. He's like, I can't do it. And he rolled it. There was one time he just rolled the ball.
Was that the Toledo said he'd throw the mitt?
That was John Lester. John Lester couldn't. If a ball got hit back to him, he would have to run to first base and throw his mitt to the first baseman. It was weird.
It got to it got so bad that those guys even got into the heads of other pitchers. That's sometimes the toughest throw for a lot of pitchers. Like how many errors have you seen from them?
There's a lot, but I mean it's usually because it's just such a quick bang bang thing. John Lester was not throwing the ball hard.
No,
but he would turn around. He would turn around and stop Brady and look at the first baseman and throw it about 10 feet over his head.
Yeah.
It was the craziest, like, what is going, like, you would watch it. It was in slow motion. It was like he was doing the mistake on purpose. It was embarrassing. But you know what? Get your ass out there. Every time. And he did it. There was times when you're like, don't go out there, John. Don't go out there. Don't. He was too good. So, the twisties. Anyway, she got herself a bronze, which ties her for most medals. Which I think there's a little motivation there, too, of any U.S. gymnast with Shannon Miller. She now has 7. So now I think there's a little motivation back on that.
That bronze has got to be a little bit...
like a stinger?
Yeah.
No, she's got herself and all of her crew convinced that she's a hero. That bronze is heroic.
Will she go in another 4? Or another
if
3?
she comes back again,
it
would just be a kick in the nuts to all the others. I don't think so. I think she's all done. But it's interesting. It certainly is a good subplot to the entire Olympics because I didn't realize it. I started chatting with a couple guys yesterday, and then out of the blue, my one friend fires off the stuff about the girls' soccer team. I'm full Olympics like my friends are in meltdown mode. These guys are mad at the Olympics. And the one of them's a veteran, and he lost his mind at the kneeling at the not a happy camper about the you go on foreign soil and kneel to our flag. Oh, this was treason to him. I mean, he's been in war.
So do they still they do that before each game, whatever team that they're playing, the anthem? Because I'm trying to figure out where.
I don't know.
Are we the only ones playing the anthem? Before the game?
I don't know if it was the anthem, but I know they all hit a knee in protest of the flag, and I don't know if it's during an anthem or anything else.
Yeah,
but or if they just dragged the flag out, but they did, and that's how I found out about it. I didn't see that part. I just saw the end of the game when they lost, and I loved every second of it because I can't stand that team.
I wonder what's going to happen in the backlash once this is over with Rapinoe and stuff like that with this kneeling thing.
You can't backlash it. In this day and age, you can't backlash too hard because everybody, and that's true. Everybody's got their right to say whatever. But I did kind of, when a guy who's been shot at, or actually shot, I should say, because he was, texts me and says, when you're on foreign soil and you disrespect the flag, you shouldn't be able to come home. I mean, he's just steadfast on the whole thing. And you can't protest our country on foreign soil. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, I didn't even prompt this conversation. Yeah. This came out of nowhere. I think he just group sent it out. And I was on the list, but he's right. There was a certain aspect to that. And some people will agree with you, but the ones who don't aren't wrong either. It's the whole fun of it. You want to open your trap.
There's still plenty that have not come back to the NFL on the older, when the whole. Well, it's mostly the older.
Oh, you're talking about fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that did not like that.
That dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see why. And it doesn't make him wrong. Like you want to say he has a right to say it. They have a right to say the same thing. And it's just instead of talking about making an actual effort to fix it, everybody just wants to get in their corner. It's crazy. Anyway, the Olympics. 50% down, but there's been some good stuff. You missed that race last night between Whitey and Ry Benjamin. Whitey winning that race was...
It's a great race.
And there is some inner bigot in you that can't help but go, good for you, Whitey. Because, you always root for something that looks... like you, and I wish I had his hair. That was the thing I was looking at. My God, the man's hair is like Brett's hair, only Norwegian. It's fantastic hair. But I was still rooting for the USA. I still wanted Ryan.
I don't know if it's a color thing. I think it's more of the stereotype thing. You're like, the black guy is supposed to beat the white guy, period.
There is that. But in my world, if the black guy's supposed to beat the white guy, and we've got the black guy, I'm thrilled. Like, I want that to be the case.
Advantage.
I want that. Yeah, advantage America. We've got the fast black guy versus the fast white guy. 9 times out of 10, USA grabs gold. And I think that's why Ry Benjamin was crying so. He lost to a white guy. That's got to kill him.
It's not so bad taking second, but
you're
to
like
a white guy?
The only one. Nobody in sprinting loses to the white guy.
Excuse me, Holmes?
Yeah, it's terrible.
He's crying.
I would cry too.
I hope this holds up because whatever this juice I took, he looked up and saw the world record shattered by a second.
By that white guy who's flexing and trying to tear his shirt off and can't.
John, Simone Biles is a hero to us women, just like Amelia Earhart. Sign Caitlyn Jenner.
See, the listeners are good. That's pretty fun. Let's get a wake-up song, shall we? Just a little update on those Olympics. It's 585-9800. That's the phone number. You tell us what you want to hear. We'll scream it together. It's 98 KUPD. Wake up!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the hell?
98.
I'm not cool with this at all.
KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, repeat, Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.